Yeah, down east are still tracking some possibly destructive thunderstorms, but around here things are relatively tranquil. I mean, we just have a couple of light, spotty showers showing up here and there from the mountains and out toward upstate South Carolina. A little bit of light rain that's been passing out of our North Carolina high country down into Wilkes County there around Mulberry, and just a couple of sprinkles showing up, trying to show up there around Turnersburg and northern Iredell County, and just this little strip of light rain around Richburg, Fort Lawn, and heading into part of Lancaster County. All those little light scattered showers dropping off to the east and to the southeast. We have more spotty rain back off to the west, but nothing too intense on the way. That's not to say that we couldn't get an isolated heavier shower, maybe even a thunderstorm breaking out as the rest of the evening eventually here coming up goes on and going into the night. But it's a pretty low chance for most of our area. That will change, though, likely by tomorrow afternoon, tracking a much higher chance of stormy weather for Thursday. Temperature today heating up, not quite as hot as the 94 that we had yesterday. We've got 88 right now, but it's still hot, and it's more humid today too, with dew points hovering around 70. So that makes it feel even hotter. Just a light west wind, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We've got low 90s off to the east in Wadesboro, Rockingham, Cheraw. The lower to mid 80s along the I-40 corridor from Morganton up through Lenore. Hickory's only at 82, and then we're just right around 70 up in the mountains. But yes, again, you factor in the humidity, and it feels more like it is actually in the low to mid 90s from the Queen City down through Lancaster, one of the hotter spots. And that feels like temp of 96, and it feels even hotter. Look at that 103 in Chesterfield County. Feels like those triple digits in Rockingham there in Richmond County. So the muggy meter definitely on the high side for another day tomorrow, and then it takes a bit of a drop, just a bit. It'll still be a little sticky heading into the weekend, but not quite as steamy as how we're feeling today, and for another day tomorrow. So minor fluctuations in the humidity on the way. We're down to 74, warm and steamy conditions overnight. Again, there could be a leftover stray shower, maybe an isolated storm into the overnight with a west wind at 5 to 10. And yes, we've been talking so much about this air quality and the Canadian wildfire smoke. It's much improved today. The air quality has been good to moderate. That will continue over the next few days. Not as hazy and smoky. Perhaps you're noticing that today. Again, staying hot and humid, and strong storms will be possible through tomorrow. So stormy weather will be developing even as a little bit later on tomorrow morning in some cases with the west wind 5 to 10. So that's going to help keep temperatures down a little bit too, only reaching the mid to upper 80s. Let's check out Futurecast through later on this evening. Again, mostly dry conditions in the forecast here early tomorrow morning, tracking some storms to the west, and those will be starting to move in possibly by late morning, around lunchtime, early part of the afternoon. So we'll see this complex arriving in the mountains and foothills first, and then overspreading more of the Charlotte metro. Later we get into the day, tomorrow evening, and then things kind of settle down a little bit again for Friday. Just hit or miss, smaller chances of storms to wrap up the week. But the severe risk for tomorrow is higher, where you see the yellow from Asheville down through our Charlotte metro and into the upstate and points east. This is going to be the higher risk zone for getting some of those damaging wind gusts. It's going to be the main threat. Smaller sized hail can't be totally ruled out. And the rain outlook as we take it out through the weekend, relatively low chances of hit or miss storms, just kind of a typical summertime pattern here with that slightly lower humidity coming up for the weekend, and that will take it out into early next week too. And as far as temperatures go on the 7-day forecast, not any major change here. A little bit hotter on Friday, and then we're back in the upper 80s to lower 90s through the weekend and early next week.